Suck it in.
Hey, tell us real quick, you guys all want a union?
Yes.
What reasons?
Have a voice.
Voice.
Fair elections.
Have there been any specific incidences that you care to discuss? Or anything?
Yes, we have had anti-union meetings, and we have a voice, and we should have the right to choose. I mean, if you're going to have an anti-union meeting here at Nissan and we should have a pro-union meeting.
Who conducted the anti-union meeting?
I have management, I guess. Upper management, yeah.
So y'all feel like management is dead set against the union?
Yes. Perfectly clear.
Yes.
Do me a favor, whoever's talking, can you step up to the podium for me?
Sure.
I'll pick up Patty's down right here.
Yeah, all up to the podium if you could.
Okay.
Maybe talk again for everybody about the anti-union meeting. What do you know about it?
Well, we had a roundtable meeting, so they had each employee used to come in, get off the line, and stand there about an hour, 15 minutes, and it was just anti-union. Nissan is anti-union. They don't want a union. They don't need a union. So it was just mostly just drilling us, trying to get in our heads, and that's not what we want there. So that's what they were saying. And what we were saying as employees is if they have that free opportunity to say anti-union, we should have the opportunity to have the union to come in and voice the way they do things, and to give us a voice to have us the right to choose whether we want to have a union or not. So,
What kind of things are happening that make you want to unionize?
well, it's about our voice, and we have a lot to say. We on that line each and every day, working hard. And it's about the customers. It's about making quality vehicles, and it's about us having a voice and be partnering with Nissan and discuss our policies, our job security, our environment we work in, our wages, and just safety. So that's what we're all about. It's not us bashing Nissan because we are Nissan. So we just want the same privilege as Japan, as Smyrna, and that's what we're asking for.
What's your name?
My name is Betty Jones.
Yeah, the press conference is going to start momentarily. We're waiting for Dr. Jackson to get here, and at that time we will officially start the press conference.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon. We are here today to announce our support of the workers of Nissan here in Canton and their employees' right to decide whether or not they want to be represented. One of the factors that I want to put out very front is that the workers here are good people, they work hard, but also this is America. And in America, there is something called the right to choose, the right to pick representation. I'm a member of Congress only because the people of the 2nd District decided that I could do the best job, and they voted for me. Likewise, in a democracy, people have that right to choose. People have fought and died. Many of the employees at Nissan are veterans, and they understand what it takes to put your life on the line to defend your country. So we're here, basic principle, number one, to say that those workers, if they decide to choose representation, they should have it without any fear, threat of their job or anything else. Too many times, even the right to vote in this country, people were threatened, people were harmed, and we want to make sure that in this campaign, should the employees choose to do it, that those kind of threats won't be. The second thing is we have a transnational company that's doing business here in the United States, more specifically in Canton, Mississippi, where the workers from where they come from have a union already. And so we figure that it's right for a company who already recognize unions in other places to give the employees here that right should they choose. So it's plain and simple. There are a lot of other things that you'll be hearing about going down the line. We understand that people in this facility here in Canton are paid a different wage rate than people in the plant in Tennessee. Well, it'd be interesting to see. We understand that the benefits package is also different. The differential for working at night is different. So there are a lot of things that over time, I think members of the press and this community, but this is about fairness. Everybody understands how important the job is, but also in America, being able to decide whether or not you want representation is a fundamental principle of civil rights, human rights, and in any democracy. So we have a number of people here who are assembled, who are in support of that principle for individuals to have that right to choose. Members from NAACP, members from the religious community, as well as other elected officials, both from the municipal and the state level. We'll now ask Dr. Isaac Jackson, who's the Jones State President for the Jones Baptist Convention, to give remarks at this time.
Congressman Bennie Thompson, I'm here on behalf of the religious community, both in Canton, Mississippi, and across the state of Mississippi. And I'm here to lend our support as well as prayers for the Nissan employees here, that they be given an opportunity to choose representation to ensure them of a better future, not only for themselves, but for their family. And I think once they're given that opportunity to choose for themselves, we will discover that you can't find better workers nowhere in the world than in Canton, Mississippi. And they should not be taken advantage of just because they're paid more money now than they used to be paid. That's kind of like saying my great-grandfather worked as a sharecropper, and he got paid more as a sharecropper, but yet it compared to slave wages. So these workers here in Canton, Mississippi should be given an opportunity, feel comfortable about where they're going to work at, and the company should ensure that they have a bright future ahead of them. And that's what I want to say. Thank you very much, Congressman.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Mississippi State Conference and NAACP, we also stand in solidarity of the Nissan workers. Our goal here is to ensure that equal protection under the law is guaranteed for all citizens. But in that, it also should extend to workers having a right to cast a vote so they can choose their representation. As workers go to work every day, they labor hard. They should be paid a fair wage for a fair day's work. There is no reason why in this country workers should be treated less than workers in Brazil and in Japan. Workers in Brazil have unions in Nissan plants. Workers in Brazil have better packages than the workers in the United States. Workers in Japan have better packages than the workers in the United States. If we are to be the country we're supposed to be, we must support the workers of the United States. And for the NAACP, we have fought long and hard to ensure individuals can cast a vote, have the right to cast a vote without intimidation, without manipulation, and be provided the opportunity to hear all of the information so they can make informed decisions. But when it comes to workers in this country, when it comes to corporations, they prevent the workers from being able to have equal access to information. They prevent the workers to have an opportunity to truly make an informed decision so they can understand the leverage they have collectively so they can provide a better quality of life for their families. And finally, the state of Mississippi gave Nissan plant hundreds of millions of dollars. There is no reason why, as citizens of this state, we should allow a company to rob our coffers. When you underpay Nissan workers, you prevent the opportunity for the municipality of Canton to grow. When you underpay Nissan workers, you prevent the opportunity for the county of Madison to develop at a level it should. When you underpay Nissan workers, you devalue the citizens of this state, because from that, we will never be able to maximize the quality of work and the labor the workers give and the return on that work from the benefits they can put back into our economy. So the NAACP, we support the Nissan workers because it's the right thing to do, it is the mission of the organization, and it's the right thing for the state of Mississippi. Thank you. At this time, we'll take questions.
You mentioned the state of Mississippi giving a lot of money to Nissan to locate here. Is it the contention of you, Congressman Thompson, or anybody up here, Senator Jones, that the state now has the right to come in and tell Nissan what it can and cannot do as far as listening to its workers?
No, but we're saying that because of that investment, many of taxpayers in this state said that democracy should be the order of the day, and that in a democracy, people have a right to choose. And we're saying if the workers decide in their own right that it's in their best interest to choose representation, then they should be allowed to do so without any threats of harm, be it loss of jobs or anything. And that's just a fundamental civil and human right that every American citizen in this country has.
Has there been any specific incidences that anybody knows of mistreatment?
Well, to our knowledge, there have been instances, but what I want to say is I'm confident that a company like Nissan would not move itself to that level. But I would not want that company to put any fear or any threat or reprisal on those individuals who are employed there just because they decide to exercise a fundamental right of deciding whether or not they want to choose to be represented by a union or not. This is America. It's not a third world country, and I think any American citizen should have the right to choose.
I guess what
Yeah.
was the aha moment that the workers came together and said, we want to go ahead and try to see if we can get a union?
Well, there have been discussions for quite a while, to be honest with you. What I have heard recently is that there is significant traction among the employees now to move forward. And I think that aha moment is the fact that a lot of us have come together and said, workers, if this is something you want to do and still do your job every day, then as an American citizen, you should have that right to do it.
How specifically are they being intimidated, the workers here?
Well, the intimidation is probably a strong word, but the question is that they are being interviewed by the company. There are discussions going on about organizing that they used to not have. And so what we want to make sure is that as they go forward, should they choose to go forward, they can do their job without any fear of any reprisals going forward. So this is basically announcing our support for the right for workers, should they choose to form an organizing effort, as long as they're doing it on their own time, along if the company decides that they want to move some resources of the company to try to dissuade these workers from doing it, then the union should be given equal time to present its side. Surely the company won't just present its side, because in America, at least there are two sides to any issue, and we want to make sure that that is the case.
There are other companies that have had similar stances, anti-union stances, such as the former Mississippi Chemical over in Yazoo. Would you also stick up for those workers?
Absolutely. Again, it's the workers' right to choose. If they choose a bargaining unit, that's fine. They'll pick their own leadership. They'll pick their own contract, their own negotiating team. And just like we pick governors, we pick mayors, we pick supervisors, we pick state senators, that's the American way. And at that point, whatever that leadership structure is, that's what we respect.
If you all got together and started asking the workers about, if the company decides to retaliate for this formation?
Well, we hope that with this press conference, the company will understand that the community stands up for human and civil rights. Intimidation should not be the order of the day. Sure, the company can show its side to the employees, but if that side takes a slant against the union organizing, then the union should be given an equal opportunity to tell its side to the workers. So clearly, This is just our opportunity to let the process go forward so that none of the employees can feel threatened. The same principle, if those employees decided to attend an NAACP meeting, they should not be threatened. If they decided to go to churches in the community, they should not be intimidated. And the American way is that we are free enough as adults to do what we deem right, as long as what we do is not illegal. And the right to form a union in this country is not illegal.
Is the company misleading employees as to what unionization actually means? Is there any proof that they're not telling their employees everything?
Well, I think over time, a lot of this information will come forward. At some point, the workers will come forward with what they have been exposed to. But I think our purpose here is to say that we understand a campaign is about to kick off, and that campaign would involve the workers deciding whether or not they're going to have a union. And they should not feel threatened, given the history of union organizing in this country in any manner. And however the outcome of the election, we all live by it. And I think that's the sound principle of democracy that we live by every day.
And understanding that organizing a union for Nissan is not a foreign concept. In every plant they operate outside of the United States, they have organized unions within those plants. It has been a profitable company with those unions in place. Those unions have been able to develop strong working relationships to help the company grow. So this is nothing that's foreign to Nissan. From Brazil to Japan to Europe, all of their plants have organized workers working in the company. All we're saying is we want to support the workers' choice. If they choose to organize, Nissan should give equal opportunity for those workers to organize. And in that, the workers will prosper, Nissan will prosper, and the state of Mississippi will prosper.
I've got to ask, when we were first signing in, we were told we were not allowed in that side of the building. I'm just curious what's going to be said over there.
I can't tell you. I don't know.
Well, let me
We're trying
go
to- this
further.
time
Why,
we're trying
why
to get-
isn't the media allowed in the actual meeting and only to hear the press conference?
At this time, we're trying to get a fair election, and with a lot of our employees scared to really be up there, we want to make sure they're all right up in the conference over there.
What do you mean that they're all right? I really.
Well, let me clear it up for you. The right to assemble, should they choose, is one of the tenets in this country that we live by. So if they decide that in their effort to talk about whether or not organizing is in their best interest, then they choose whether or not they want to have the press or not. And I think that's what you just experienced.
They're protecting their identities.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're not trying to put anybody on the hot seat. This is an effort for those employees to get together. And should they choose at some point to go public, I'm sure, just like we're holding this press conference, I'm sure the same thing will be there. But that's not the time today.
Is there anybody representing, is there an employee willing to talk to us?
I'm sure at some point they will. Basically, what we are talking about right now is our support for the employees to have the right to choose. And at some point, when they decide to step forward, I'm sure you'll have an opportunity to see all of them.
You said this is the start of a campaign. I mean, how close is a union, and I guess what are the next steps to go forward if there is
Yeah,
an
well,
organization?
as you know, you have to have 30% of the employees signing on before you can have an election. There are some time issues around getting those ballots signed, cards signed for the election. And this is where the union has to do its own job with the workers and the people who work there. are going to have to get their colleagues to see where it would be to their benefit, should they choose to be represented by a union. And that's a democracy again. And ultimately, 50% plus one of those employees will have to decide in favor of union representation. What we're here today is to say those employees should have the right to sign a card and ultimately conduct an election without fear of losing their job. Plain and simple.
Is there a petition going around that employees have started signing?
I'm certain there are. I have not seen it directly, but I'm convinced that after this press conference, there'll be significant activity on the part of the workers in that direction. Thank you very much.